January 7th, 2026. By now, by the numbers, 33% have quit on the gym New Year's resolution. That's pretty crazy, especially after you sign up, right? But hopefully you're not one of those people. Hopefully we're still getting after it. We're going to hit some back today. We're going to squeeze in some biceps too at the end. We had a good episode last night, in case you missed it. We hit chest and triceps at the House of Swole. And it was a really good workout. I mean, it was really good. I'm really sore today. In a good way. We mixed it up. We did some incline Smith to start instead of flat chest. Hammered some dumbbells, some pec deck. It was really good. So make sure you check that out. And yeah, let's get after back today. Now we're going to start off with some bent over barbell rows. Now, for some reason, this is my own thing, and I've seen other people do it, so it must also be a kind of like a method. But I like to stand on an object to do bent over rows. It forces me to kind of bend over to pick it up. And once I do that, I feel like I'm reaching down and getting a full extension. So I like standing on two 15-pound plates. And yeah, it's just been my thing forever. I think it's the best way to do bent over rows. You can do it on a platform. You can do it on a piece of wood. You can do it on whatever you want. Just a little tip. And I like doing these underhand. Yeah, you do get a little bit of bicep activation, but I feel like you get a better lower lat pull when you're coming up because you're able to bring it closer to your body on the way up compared to overhand where you can bring it there, but it's a lot harder of a motion. Here we hop over to some lat pull downs. We're going to do them from the underhand position. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring these down. We're going to hold for a second, and we're really going to come up slow. So we're really going to work on the negative part of this rep. Don't get me wrong, the rep is good, but we're really going to slow down. And you're going to see me slow down as we get deeper into the sets of these. This is one of my favorite exercises, period, is underhand pull downs. I think it's fantastic for biceps. It's also really good for lower lats. If you've had a couple back days and you're like, man, I'm just not getting the same pull that I used to feel in my back, go to these. And go to the close grip too. With your hands close together, it kind of pulls you straight up in the air. Or if your hands are wide, they kind of come out a little bit. So give it a go for sure. And as I said, as you can see, I'm coming a little bit slower on the way up, and these sets are going to get slower and slower and slower. And it is a burner for sure. Did jump up 10 pounds for the next set. Like I said, continuing to go nice and slow. So pull down, hold for a second, and we're letting that baby out nice and slow. All the way reach out. Elbows should be almost parallel with your back when you come down. That's how far we should be down. Right there. We're straight across line-wise with the slant of my back. and we're squeezing at the bottom. I think this is a great machine to invest in. It has the pulley cable at the bottom too, to where you could connect the two cables and use it as, you can use it for anything from the down table. You could do curls with it, you could do upright rows with it. But they sell that machine at Walmart. Well, not at Walmart, but through Walmart's website for, I believe it's like $165. So if you bought that and you bought a bunch of different attachments, I think that's a great way to start a gym. Would be one of these lat pull down towers. They're just not much money, and you can do a lot of different stuff on them. As you can see, I did this set a little more bicep based. I'm not as lean back as I was before. And right at this point, I am squeezing at the bottom. Like I'm trying to almost break the handle. That's how hard I'm squeezing. Yep. Okay. So we finished up there. And we went over to some chest supported back rows. I did do these with the handles. As I said, I am just as much in this for the arm day as I am the back day. Like to go over on the way out and under on the way in. And just like the lat pull downs, you're going to see me gradually do these slower as the sets go on. So I guess you could say that this workout was a little bit more lower lat based and with some biceps, but all movements, all stuff to add into your routine. Alright, so that wraps back day. Yes, I know you're probably thinking, I thought you said you were going to hit back and biceps. We did. As you probably noticed in most of those movements, we used a lot of underhand grip, whether it was the rotational handles on the back rower or it was the underhand pull downs. Even my bent over rows in the beginning of the workout were underhand. A lot of times when you hit bicep, you hit your usual curl routine. After a while, it's good to mix it up. And if you really look into how the bicep works, there's only so much bicep loading you can do with curls. So any sort of movement where you're hinging the bicep from this position is effective, especially two things. If you're holding it, time under tension, you're going slow through the reps, and also you're squeezing at the top. When you're squeezing from the underhand grip, you are hitting some lower lat, but you're also hitting some bicep. You're really focusing on it. So there is a good point of the year where I'll just completely dump off on biceps, and I'll hit underhand pull-ups. And to progress with those, what I'll do is I'll start using the weight vest. And I think it's a good way to grow arms. And I mean, of course, you can go back to your curling routine. But yeah, that's a good way to mix it up. And yeah, had a pretty decent back bump going. Starting to slowly dive into, I wouldn't say dieting, but cleaning up the diet. And a little tip, I mean, especially if this is your first kind of go around with working out, everybody always tells you, you got to hit your macros for the day. The best way to do it so you don't get overwhelmed is take one macro and focus on it until you've got it locked in. A lot of times when you do that, the rest will fall in place. So, try to hit your protein goal. If you're 150 pounds, try to hit that 150 grams of protein mark. Just try to master one macro. And, there's a good chance that if you're getting to that every day, if you're getting to your 150 grams, your carbs probably look pretty good too, because you're eating a lot of stuff that is protein rich. And your calories probably aren't too high either, because you're eating, it all falls in line. It all falls in line. I think there's a big misconception with dieting, that people think that you have to eat, not great food. And you couldn't be further from the truth. I know that's a big part of people's mindset when they go into dieting, that, this is going to be miserable. Well, if you're thinking that way, then it probably is going to be miserable. But at the end of the day, it's calories in and calories out. And if you're getting in the right calories, it isn't that hard. You can get up in the morning and eat eggs and bacon, and, you can have a steak for lunch, and you can have, and then, if you get to that point where you've only used, a couple carbs, you can go a little harder on dinner. You can have some pasta as long as you don't go too crazy. And you'll still be within your calorie, whether it's a deficit or wherever you want to be. But that's a big thing for people, is they think it's going to be miserable. But if you think it's going to be miserable when you're dieting, then you should probably analyze your diet now, because there's probably something in there that is not helping you. If you've got to cut a ton of food out of your usual diet, whatever you usually eat throughout the day, to make your calories, then we got a problem. Whether it's you're stopping in the morning for, iced coffee, which some of these iced coffee places, I'm not gonna throw any companies under the bus, but if you ever look into those, a lot of them are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 calories. You're not drinking a coffee, you're drinking a milkshake. And a lot of people, they'll work out and all that, and they're like, man, I don't know why I'm not losing weight, or why I'm not shredding out the way I should. And a lot of it's drinks. A lot of it's those coffee places. And you know what? You drive by those coffee places, especially there's a couple new ones. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And the line is around the place. There's like a line to take your order. And I actually went on their website the other day to see what the big deal was, because I'm not a coffee drinker. And I had to look through to see what's on their menu that brings everybody in. And some of those coffees on there, don't get me wrong, they sound good. But yeah, if you're hitting 500 calories for the day and you haven't even gotten to work yet, dieting's going to be rough. And yeah, anyway, I think that's enough on calorie restriction, but make sure you're looking at your protein too. I think that's a big missed thing when it comes to dieting. Everybody's like, oh, I'm going to eat a salad. Okay, But does anybody really just eat a salad? Like, you look at that salad and it's got this in it, it's got that in it, and it's got croutons, and then you look at your ranch and you're like, oh, I'm gonna put ranch on it, and it says 2 tablespoons, you know, is the serving. But you're not gonna get a tablespoon out. You're gonna, you know, you're gonna lather it up, and before you know it, that salad is, you know, worse than if you had a cheeseburger. And I think that's a big part of it. I think a lot of people don't like micromanage their food. Like a lot of people like coffee additives, sauces. Sauces are big, you know. Who doesn't like ranch, right? Or blue cheese. But when you start looking at it and you're like, man, it says the serving size is only 2 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons. That's not much. But if you use 10 tablespoons and it was 100 calories for the 2, oh my God, all of a sudden now you're at 500 calories of sauces. And that's never a good way to go. But I think that people need to just dial it in. If you dial it in and you start really like looking at the back of your food and being like, oh, okay, so this is okay, I can mix this in, I can make this work into my calories, then it's not going to be that miserable for you. I think you're actually going to enjoy it. But anyway, so the diet that I go on now is I will be eating, I'll usually eat 2 days or 3 days in a row of a calorie deficit. So I'll come down probably about 200 calories from maintenance. From now till probably March. And I will have a refeed day, but my refeed day isn't going to be what most people think. Like, you see like The Rock with his cheat days and he's got 6,000 pieces of cake or whatever the hell it is. That's not really a refeed for me. I think of a refeed as like a big meal, and that's more beneficial for you. It's not going to spike your insulin like crazy. It's not going to get you out of how your body uses fat. It's just going to be a good solid meal, you know, and it doesn't have to be great. You know, you can sit down and have a stack of pancakes or a thing of chicken tenders or even some pizza and not have it be detrimental to your goals. Where we get offline with that, though, is there's a lot of people who can't have one of those days. And because once they have those days, they have like 4. Before you know it, you've had 4 of them, then you've had 8 of them. That's never good. And but you shouldn't, if you're really trying to dial in, you shouldn't have like a refeed day until like day 9 or 10. Every 9 or 10 days, be like, hey, I'm gonna go get a cheeseburger and fries. Okay. And usually the workout after that is phenomenal. Like, usually you get a little bit of a carb load. Not too crazy. You get a little bit of a carb load and you get a really good pumped whatever you're hitting that day. And those are fun days. But the important part is when that day's over, we're back to schedule. And that's a big problem. Like, for some reason, if you're going to have one of those days, you know, buy enough for that day. Don't be buying like a lot of it because it's on sale. So I think that wraps for today. If you have any questions, comments, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Thursday, and we'll see how we're feeling in the morning and see what we hit. So, all right, have a good night.